Since 2009, College-Bound Dorchester has been committed to transforming neighborhoods by providing education and a path to college to students who were once high school dropouts and potentially involved in gangs. Their vision is to use education as a force for community change. From the corner to college, their new pilot program, Uncornered, aims to help those with a destructive past change their future by providing funding toward their college education. The brainchild behind College-Bound Dorchester is CEO Mark Culliton. From his own personal experiences, Culliton understands the difficult time a student can have in the traditional system, educational system, that is. Joining Mark today is Alex Diaz, who is a participant, a student in the new Uncornered pilot program. Once formerly incarcerated, Diaz has been free for 4 years now and committed to getting an education as a student at College-Bound Dorchester. Thank you for both for joining us today. Welcome to Urban Update. Glad you're here. Mark, let me start with you to sort of briefly elaborate about College-Bound Dorchester and what you're doing to transform students.
So College-Bound is basically an organization that's been built around this idea that our educational interventions to date have helped a lot of individuals, helped a lot of families, but hasn't really helped the communities that we're trying to serve. I always think about 1965, we declared a war on poverty, and the communities that we were concerned about are the exact same communities that we're concerned about today. And so the whole purpose of College-Bound is really, how do you use education to transform communities, not individuals? And we believe it's students like Alex that can do it.
Have you, I guess, what kind of impact do you think you've had in the last 6 years since you started?
So I think we've learned a ton, and I think we've doubled down on this idea that the most off track, the most destructive students when they were younger, because of that, because of the chaos they created, have the power to create good. And very few organizations, very few schools double down and invest in these young people who actually hold the key to neighborhood transformation.
I'm going to bring Alice in here first, but before that I want to ask you, besides all the great work you're doing with College-Bound Dorchester, you've got this new program, a new initiative, Uncornered. Now tell me about that and the new pilot program you've got going on.
Yeah, so this is what all the learning, all the work has led up to, is Boston Uncornered, which is really about using the power of former gang-involved youth to create positive change and to looking at them as the people that will bring an end to generational urban poverty. So it's about investing in them in a meaningful way to allow them to focus on the path, as you said, from corner to college and then to create community change. So it's really years of work, years of learning to double down on students like Alex, who we know are the next change agents in this country.
Now, Alex, you're one of those 40 participants in the new pilot program. It's great to have you with us. I understand now that you dropped out of high school in the 9th grade, yes. And I guess describe, some of the problems in the past that's sort of really the reason why you're a student in this program now. Just tell me what your life was like back then.
It was rough, growing up in bad neighborhoods, being around people that just did negative things. That's all I wanted to do, and my father wasn't around, so I wanted to be there for my mom in certain ways.
Okay, and there weren't that many ways. We were talking before. I mean, you needed money to live, and so you did what you had to do, and that ended you up. You ended up in jail for that.
Yes,
for a few years. Now, what inspired you to come to College-Bound Dorchester and take part in this the Uncornered pilot program?
My CRA, Francisco DePina, when I was incarcerated, I used to call him every day, and he used to always tell me, like, try this out, and I used to be like, I don't know, I don't think about it, you know. I was still in that mentality where I want to come home and just make sure I have money in my pockets. When I started the program, the first couple of days, it just felt like a family. They was always around me. They always asked me if I needed help. And any way I needed help, they was there for me. And my CRA, for some reason, somehow would never let me down.
And when you say CRA, you mean your
college readiness advisor.
Okay, all right. Mark, with the positive changes I guess your program has made in communities, what do you say to the critics who question why your students should be paid?
Yeah, so an important piece to Uncornered is this idea of We hire former guys who are involved in neighborhoods and crews to connect with folks like Alex. Secondly, set those high expectations of college graduation. And third, give our students stipend to focus on college. So I say two things is one, that we're already paying as a society for gang-involved youth about $100,000 a year per individual per year in incarceration, police force. So we're already spending significant money on them already. And secondly, the single greatest determinant of success in college is if you can go full-time and focus on your education, which many of us, when we were Alex's age, had the opportunity to do part-time jobs but to focus on college. And we found when guys like Alex focus on college, they succeed. And when they succeed, it's really this idea they can transform communities. And we've failed as a country to do that in any meaningful way.
Now, Alex, talk to me about, I guess the money that you do get from Uncornered. How does it help you and your daughter? You have a young daughter, I understand.
Yes, I got an 11-year-old. Helps me a lot in so many ways. Helps me pay bills. It helps me support her. Helps me stay off the streets. Helps me from doing negative things. And it also shows my friends and other peers that you could do other stuff, the negative stuff, and come to school and go to college. And there's programs that are here to help you in so many ways.
Now, what do you want to study?
I want to study auto mechanics.
Auto mechanics. I guess what impact do you think getting a college degree will have on your life and your future?
Being the first person in my family to get a college degree is the most happiest thing I'm going to do. And just having College Bound help me go through it is very, very appreciative, and it's going to help me keep forward and let my daughter know that, yeah, I did negative things. I did stuff that I shouldn't have done, but now I'm on the right path, and I'm going to continue going that way. That
must have been, I guess, a relief to find a direction or something, coming out of being incarcerated. Because I'm sure when you're in those years in there, you're probably thinking, what am I going to do when I get out? Because getting a job is difficult. Everything. It was hard to get a job. It was just, and not having the support that I had when I got out at the time when the jail told me. It was hard, so coming to College Bound and getting my CRA was the best thing I think anybody could have done, and I could have done myself.
Wow. Yeah. So, Byron, let me just jump in. Is one of the things we tell to our students is to embrace your past. Don't be ashamed of what you've done or the chaos that you created, because that destruction is the thing that will give you power to make positive change. And those actions don't define who you are, it defines what you did. And that same thing, that same sort of ability to lead young people in a negative direction is the same thing that will give you the opportunity to lead our communities in a positive direction. So own that destruction, own that chaos, accept responsibility for it, but use that power for good. And if we do that, anything's possible. And finally, I guess, what's your vision for the future of Uncornered, and how can people get involved if they want to? Yeah, so check out College Bound Dorchester online, come to our website, see what the work's about. And the great thing about this is in Boston, there are only 2,600 active gang members. We can deal with that population and create a community where those same individuals are the ones that will end generational urban poverty. And I truly believe that's possible. Okay, we'll leave it right there. Mark Culliton and Alex Diaz, congratulations on your path going forward, and congratulations on 6 successful years and your new pilot program. Thanks, man. Okay, we'll see what happens. Well, coming up next, the RFK Children's Action Court celebrates 48 years of child advocacy. All the details right here on Urban Update.